is a beautiful day, just beautiful, and it's around 3:30 in the afternoon on August 12th. I'm in zone 6B, and it is around 75 degrees. There's a nice breeze in the air, and it's just beautiful. So I want to show you the container garden, and I normally do my container garden tours in the morning, but today it is in the afternoon, so you can see kind of the sun exposure of this area. Around 5 o'clock, this entire area right here will be completely shaded. Okay, so this is a tomatillo plant, a purple tomatillo. I have never seen more insects attracted to a plant than this one right here. They just love it, and so I can come out here at any time and see all kinds of flies and bees and just all kinds of things. And there's a lot of little tomatillos on here too. So I'm starting to look forward to it. I wasn't looking forward to this little plant. I didn't know that it would produce anything. I still don't know that they'll get big enough for harvest, but we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on that. And if you've not been watching my tours before, that was kind of an accidental planting. That's the way I like to refer to it anyway. This is a summer savory plant, which was on purpose. I meant to put it in that container. And then when I went to sort through some seedlings, I had this extra tomatillo seedling. And I just stuck it down in that container and thought, well, I'll just plant it somewhere else later. Well, I didn't get around to that, and this thing took off. And it has continued to grow and grow. And of course, I didn't cage it or anything because I didn't expect it to grow. And so now this chair is its support. Okay, so my last container tour, I pruned back everything. And I'll include a link to that tour if you want to kind of compare the last growth to this growth. But everything is like having a new plant now. I just love it when I can, in July, go back and prune everything back, and then everything grows back into the fall, and it's beautiful, nice, new, fresh growth, which is always just lovely. And the basil doesn't look too great right now, but I have just been picking off those new leaves on the top whenever I need some basil, and it's just wonderful. I love the new leaf growth. It's sweet, it's tender, it's wonderful. And when the leaves get a little older, they're bigger and tougher. I can still use them, but I prefer the baby leaves. They're just wonderful. And I made a tomato pie with some basil last week. I make it once a year because it's so rich and fattening, but it's really good. And I used a lot of my new basil growth in that. It was really lovely. And then over here, some red Reuben basil. Been using that also. You can't really see it very well, but it's in the shade. Mojito mint, looking great. I have yet to cage my tomato plant or my pepper plant over there. I have got to do something with that, or I'm going to have a very awkward plant in my container garden if I don't get those caged or supported somehow. I just have not been able to get around to it. I've not been home a lot. It's summertime and all. So I need to cut back that hyssop there. That's usually, used as a medicine for tea and that kind of thing. But when I don't usually use it for cooking unless it's like early spring or late fall, and I don't have any of the kind of licorice or anise flavor around. I'll use a baby leaf, like a dark green leaf, and use it in something. It has a, pretty good flavor. It's not too bad. So that was the one I cut back, and that's another anise hyssop plant there. So it's got some new growth on it. A Kaffir lime tree there, grown from seed. It's doing very well this year as compared to last year. And French tarragon is just wonderful. This is not doing too well. This is lime time. So I need to move that. I don't think it likes that container. I don't think it's getting enough drainage. Okay, Greek oregano is blooming out a little bit and attracting some insects. It's doing really nice. The pesto basil is doing okay. I'd like to see it doing better. Back there is cilantro, and it's gone to seed, so I have some wonderful green and pink coriander on there. It's kind of turning to the tan stage, so it's kind of pink at the same time. It's really, really pretty. And I'm freezing that, as a matter of fact, too. I'm pulling off the green coriander to use this winter. And it's freezing wonderfully. It's retaining the color, so I'm liking it a lot. And maybe I can get a little bit of a better close-up here for you. Really lovely colors. Okay, purple sage. Haven't even used that yet. Sometimes I just don't get around to using things. And then there's the apple mint. Really just has responded very well to the cutting. parsley. I need to dry some of that. I need to go ahead and cut it back and dry it. I have much too much to use at one time. I have another container that's growing just as well. And then the Thai peppers. Oh, I've been just so enjoying these. Just so glad to finally have some nice red hot peppers in my garden again. I was kind of spoiled when I was living in Zone 8B. I had hot peppers all the time, and so now I've learned how to grow them here in my new zone. Sometimes it takes a little bit of a time to learn something when you're in a new climate, and so I had a little learning curve of about 3 years, but now I know I can overwinter my hot peppers in my garage and have them the next year to enjoy. So I have had just bukus and bukus of, that means a lot by the way, of Thai pepper harvest. I've been freezing them on a cookie sheet in my freezer, and so it's time to harvest again, and that's just great, just loving it. Okay, down here the golden oregano is doing very, very well. I was worried about it at first because it was showing some brown tips on it, but now it is looking really nice. And then the lemongrass, of course, it's huge. It's doing real well. So I will harvest that just like I did my lemongrass last year. And I'll include a link to that video at the end of this video if you'd like to check it out. More basil over here. Again, I've been snipping off the tops for uses and dishes. And then rosemary. And then this little bronze fennel. It's a funny little plant. I should have put this thing right out in the yard. It does not like the container at all. Or either it's just gotten so much shade from the lime tree that it's been stretchy. But it's gone to seed, as has some fennel in the garden that I have right down there. I did get to harvest some fennel though earlier at my other garden, and cooked it up with some rainbow trout. It was really, really good. So I need to grow more fennel. I love fennel. And this is more of an ornamental type plant, but I have used it to garnish a wonderful pasta dish that I used fennel seed in with a hot Italian sausage. And so this little purple bronzy color was really neat on top versus having something green. Alright, so here is my Kaffir lime tree. I'm so proud of myself, you guys. I finally bit the bullet and pruned this tree, and I do this every year. I wait until it has recovered from being moved out of my house into the outdoors, because it goes through a little bit of a shock when I do that, because it's indoors for 5 months, I think, or 6 months, then it's outdoors for 6 more months. So it takes a little of an adjustment period, and everything I've read says you have to prune your citrus trees before they bloom out, like in the spring, but I don't do that. I wait until it's bloomed, and I wait until there are small limes on it, and then I prune it. Okay, so that's going to be different than anything else you probably will read. So after it has small limes on it, that's when I prune it. And I pruned it heavily. I mean, I really, really cut that tree. And it might be hard to distinguish it from the tree that's behind it. So let me see if I can get a different shot for you here. At any rate, I took off probably 2/3 of the leaves on there. And it has directed a lot of energy back into these smaller limes. Okay, there are limes all over it. So all the little tiny limes that were on there before have quadrupled in size, I'd say. Uh-oh, there's a bug on that one. Yucky. And I'm getting new blossoms, which is wonderful. So lots of limes, lots of blossoms. I fed it coffee grounds. I fed it a lot of water, and I did give it Miracle Grow. So, there you have it. Just covered up with limes. Hopefully they'll all stay on there. If I keep it watered, I expect that they will mature. And then you also will notice that I have a lot of new leaf growth. You know, usually that's what I use, are the leaves all the time. So I froze, I'd hate to even say how much it weighed, but it was a couple of quart bags full of leaves. Of course, I'm sure they didn't weigh that much, but beautiful leaves. I had to throw away half of them because they were old, leathery. The sun had faded them out or burned them. There was some scale insect damage on half of them. But the half that I saved, I still had a huge harvest of them. So if you have a Kaffir lime tree, or you're thinking about growing one, You know, I'm in zone 6B. I'm not in a hot climate at all, and that's what I did. So if you're in a climate where it's not real hot, let your tree adjust before you start cutting around on it when you move it outside. And make sure it gets a lot of rain, because rainwater to me is what plants love. I can feed it, I can water my plants all day long from the faucet, and I'm on a well, so I don't have municipal water, which has a lot of other stuff in it that I wouldn't want to give my plants anyway. But yeah, rain. Get you a rain barrel if you live somewhere where you're on municipal water and you don't have a well or whatever. Maybe you don't get much rain. Get rain barrels. I had that at my other garden in zone 8B and loved my rain barrel. And your plants will love it too. Alrighty, so have a beautiful day, and I hope all you guys out there are getting ready for that wonderful fall and cooling off season and resting. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.